All right, guys, it's official. Ron DeSantis has officially dropped out of the presidential race for 2024, days before the New Hampshire primary. I don't even want to talk too much. Let's get into it.
Greetings from Florida. The warmth of being home is a reminder why I've chosen public service. From joining the United States Navy and serving in Iraq to representing the people in the U.S. Congress, and now serving as governor of Florida. And it reminds me why I decided to run for president, to fight for those who have been forgotten in this country. This is America's time for choosing. We can choose to allow a border invasion, or we can choose to stop it. We can choose reckless borrowing and spending, or we can choose to limit government and lower inflation. We can choose political indoctrination, or we can choose classical education. These choices are symptoms of the underlying struggle to ensure that constitutional government can endure and that Western civilization can survive. And we launched this campaign to bring accountability to government, regain sovereignty at our border, and restore sanity to our society. We cannot succeed as a country if we allow our nation to be invaded, our currency to be debased, our cities to crumble, and our kids to be indoctrinated. The DC elites who facilitated this mess do not care about you, and they do not work for you. They work for themselves. They seek to accumulate power at your expense to pursue an agenda that is harmful to the American people. Citizens do not serve politicians. It is the duty of politicians to serve you. Talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than words. Reversing the decline of this nation requires leadership that delivers big results for the people we are elected to serve. I have a record of leading with conviction, championing an agenda marked by bold colors, delivering on my promises, and defeating the people who are responsible for our nation's decline. That is the type of leadership we need for all of America. Now, over the past many months, Casey and I have traveled across the country to deliver a message of hope that decline is a choice and that we can, in fact, succeed again as a nation. Nobody worked harder, and we left it all out on the field. Now, following our second place finish in Iowa, we've prayed and deliberated on the way forward. If there was anything I could do to produce a favorable outcome, more campaign stops, more interviews, I would do it. But I can't ask our supporters to volunteer their time and donate their resources if we don't have a clear path to victory. Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign. I'm proud to have delivered on 100% of my promises, and I will not stop now. It's clear to me that a majority of Republican primary voters want to give Donald Trump another chance. They watch his presidency get stymied by relentless resistance, and they see Democrats using lawfare this day to attack him. Well, I've had disagreements with Donald Trump, such as on the coronavirus pandemic and his elevation of Anthony Fauci. Trump is superior to the current incumbent, Joe Biden. That is clear. I signed a pledge to support the Republican nominee, and I will honor that pledge. He has my endorsement because we can't go back to the old Republican guard of yesteryear, a repackaged form of warmed over corporatism that Nikki Haley represents. The days of putting Americans last, of kowtowing to large corporations, of caving to woke ideology are over.
All right, crew. So we just got finished taking a look at that. It's done. It's done. Ron DeSantis has dropped out, as you just got finished taking a look at. Now, here's what I think. Actually, no. I don't even want to say I think. Let me ask you a question. Who do you think is going to win the general? Right? Do you feel like it's going to be Haley, or do you feel like it's going to be Trump? Personally, I'm riding with Trump. I don't really even see how Haley even stands a chance. I know you got a bunch of neocons and a bunch of liberals who are stumping for Haley because she's supposedly Hillary light in case Joe Biden doesn't make it all the way through to the general or even make it out of the general election. Right? I don't wish. I'm bumping the mic. I don't wish anything ill on that man. I'm just saying he's not qualified to lead mentally or physically. He should have never been president in the first place, as far as I'm concerned. But the fact that Ron DeSantis dropped out, now you have a lot of Ron DeSantis supporters, right? People who were stumping for Ron, who are vowing not to even vote for Trump at all. So they're like part of the Never Trump crew right now. I don't know if they're actually going to come around now and join forces. I'm not gonna say join forces. Let me say vote for Trump now that DeSantis has bowed out gracefully. Like, how many of those quote unquote never Trumpers are going to come on board and the Trump train now? not really sure. You guys let me know in the comments. But what I do know is I do not believe that Haley has a chance. She was already in a distant second in New Hampshire in the first place. Yes, she's polling better than expected, but it isn't great. It's not like by by a great margin. So with the support of the people who have just from the DeSantis camp now going into New Hampshire, will they then align with Trump? Are they going to board the Trump train now also? I actually happen to believe that's what's going to happen. That's what I believe, right? So while, Nikki is now in second place, let's see what she actually has to say. I'm going to go ahead and react to that right now. Let's roll it.
Bash has Nikki Haley right now to talk about what now
Thanks,
that
Fred.
Ron DeSantis has stepped out of the picture.
That's right. I am standing here with the former governor. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Your reaction?
I mean, I think, look, I have said I think that Ron ran a good race. I know it's personal to get into a race. It's personal to get out of a race. He's been a good governor, and he added a lot to the campaign, and we wish him well.
Okay, when he dropped out, part of what he said was he reminded everybody that he signed a pledge to support the Republican nominee. I'll honor that pledge. He, meaning Donald Trump, has my endorsement because we can't go back to the old Republican guard of yesteryear or repackaged form of warmed over corporatism that Nikki Haley represents.
That's what I'm talking about with Hillary Light. That's what you were going to get. If you would have voted for, if you were to vote for Nikki Haley, if Nikki Haley becomes the presidential nominee and somehow happens to win the general election, you were going to get Hillary Light. That's what they're trying to do.
That's tough stuff on his way out the door.
And it's interesting because there's no proof to that. These fellas say this because they want people to believe it. But what's amazing to me is they think they can lie to the American people, and the American people are going to believe it. Prove it. Prove one thing that they've said. Prove the fact that Donald Trump says, I want to cut Social Security or raise the age.
I actually have a video on my channel right now, The Maverick Conservative, that actually says, it's titled Nikki Haley's Lying, right? Where I actually give you a bunch of video clips of her doing double talk and a bunch of word salad that she's doing right now. She's doing double speak, or excuse me, as the politicians say, she misspoke, of her saying one thing and then denying that she said it on another video. Go check that out.
Said that. Prove the fact that Donald Trump says I want to raise gas taxes. I've never said that. Or done that.
I wish I had a button.
Prove that Ron DeSantis says that I'm a corporate, whatever he says I am. I've never done that. I was in South Carolina. We fought for the people every day. There's a reason that you don't see the legislature lining up behind me in South Carolina. It's because I fought to get them to vote on the record. I fought to have them do ethics reform. I vetoed $500 million worth of their pork projects. And then you see Congress. The reason Congress doesn't support us is I've pushed for term limits. I've pushed for mental competency tests. I've said if they don't give us the budget on time, they don't get paid. I don't get that political.
You see, she's actually lying here right now because President Trump also was pushing for term limits. And you don't see them not lining up to get behind him, except for the rhinos and the neocons, of course.
Elite. That's what we need to be talking about, not the corporate stuff that they're talking about. The fact that they all side together against the people is what I'm doing. I'm going to continue to fight for the people.
A lot of times you've run in primary races before. When somebody drops out, there tends to be a breath taken and some nicer words are said. That is not the case right now with Ron DeSantis. Is that surprising to you? Is it disappointing to you? And did he call you, or at least at all inform you before he was dropping out?
No, he didn't call or inform me. And look, this is what the fellas do. The difference is
this is what the fellas do. She's pulling a gender card now. When did the conservatives start pulling the gender card, right? That's what. So now if she loses, right, she's going to fall back on the fact that, oh, I lost because I'm a woman. Right. So now Hillary Light, Nimrod is going to say, oh, OK, maybe I lost because I'm a poor little brown girl. Right. You see how that works, right? She's pulling the gender card right now. This is how the fellas do it. Right. This is why she said the only person that can get this done. I'm paraphrasing right here. Who can get it done is a woman when she was on the JV debate stage.
Take politics personally. I never have. And I think that's the problem with where we are now is you now have people who want to decide who's a good Republican, who's a bad Republican, who's a good person, who's a bad person. That's why our country is so divided. I don't judge people. I focus on policy that's going to make America strong.
She knows that She's trying to save face because I don't know if you guys know this, but the scandal came out that Nikki was Nikki was having some fun when her husband was overseas serving the country. So now she don't judge anybody. I believe that's what she's trying to say.
I don't take politics personally. I'm not thin-skinned like Donald Trump. I think that people don't want that. They want a leader who's going to bring out the best in people and get our country going forward.
Ron DeSantis is saying that he is sticking by his pledge, which is why, and he believes that Donald Trump will be the nominee. You made a pledge a long time ago, before the Republican National Committee debates even started, to support the nominee. Do you still feel that way? Are you still going to support? I mean, it's you and Donald Trump. So if it's not you, I know you hope it will be, and you're working so that it is. But if it's not, if it's Donald Trump, will you support him as the nominee still?
It's going to be me. And I know y'all want to talk about it like it's still him. 70% of Americans don't want to see a Trump-Biden rematch. But even look at that. 56,000 people voted in Iowa. Less than 2% voted in one state. We're not going to let that decide what happens in the country. We've got New Hampshire, we've got South Carolina, we've got Super Tuesday. We're going to keep on going, and we're going to fight, and we're going to win. I'm used to people underestimating me. It's always fun. But there were 14 people in this race, and now there are 2. I'm going to finish this so Joe Biden and Donald Trump are not an issue at all, that we actually put them in the past and we go forward, because our country deserves it, and Americans want it. They're tired.
As former governor of South Carolina doesn't vote, as you know, for a month. You are pledging right now to your former constituents, to your fellow South Carolinians, that you are going to stay in this race through the contest there?
Absolutely. And South Carolinians know I won that state twice. They know I'm a fighter. They know I'm going to go all the way through. I'm also an accountant, so we saved a lot of our dollars to make sure we could be strong in South Carolina. We're going to be stronger in New Hampshire than we were in Iowa. We're going to be even stronger in South Carolina than we were in New Hampshire. And we're going to keep on going until we're the last one.
She's lying right now. She's trying to save face. Tim Scott, who's a senator right now in her home state, savage. He actually came on the stage was a day or so ago and actually endorsed Donald Trump. So the people who are on your squad, Nikki, they're not even riding with you, right? And you're actually behind in the polls in South Carolina. I believe DeSantis, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, I believe DeSantis was actually outperforming you in the polls of your own state. So right now you're trying to save face, and that's fine. I guess that's what you're supposed to do, but there's no way you're going to win South Carolina. I don't even believe you have a shot of winning New Hampshire, but you know what? We're going to see.
Woman standing.
You just did it again, and we've heard you over and over in recent weeks on the campaign trail, lumping Donald Trump and Joe Biden together. Do you believe that they are equally bad for America?
It's not even what I believe, it's what Americans believe.
What do you believe? Because you're the one who's saying that.
I worry about the fact that they are so focused on investigations and things that they don't like and focused on the past. When do you ever hear either one of them talk about the solutions of the future?
All the time.
I'm doing this because I don't want my kids to live like this. We have got to start looking forward. You've got a country in disarray. You've got a world on fire, and you're going to focus on people who hurt your feelings.
See, the problem with that is, and I know I keep stopping here, but I mean, you can just rock with me for a second, right? The problem with her statement is that the economy was doing great when Trump was in office. So I'm really not sure what she's comparing it to, unless she's comparing it to what's happening right now with the economy, with inflation through the roof, right? That's a Joe Biden issue. That was never a Trump issue. So she's being disingenuous right now with that statement.
You're going to focus on investigations that are involved with your families. You're going to focus on vengeance. With me, it's no drama. It's no vendettas. It's just hard work. And it's making sure we're not thinking 4
And
and
endless
8
wars.
years. We're thinking 20 and 30 years out. That's what it should be. And we've lost that. We lost that a long time ago, but we can get it back. And I'm going to prove every day to every American that they made the right decision when I get elected.
And endless wars as well, and more of our hard-earned dollars going over to countries we never heard of or don't even really care to support, like Ukraine.
You don't want to go there on whether or not they're equally bad?
I mean, if either one of them was good, I wouldn't be running. Yes, they are equally bad. That's why I'm running. It's because I don't think we need to have Biden or Trump. I don't think we need to have 2 80-year-olds sitting in the White House when we've basically got to make sure that we can handle the war situation that we're in. We need to know they're at the top of their game. We need to know that they can take care of our national security and our economy. Right now, I don't know that people feel like that with either one. So that's why we're giving them a choice.
What's your message to Ron DeSantis' supporters who are still out there? Let's just start in New Hampshire. He, at our latest poll this morning, he was at 6%. So we're not talking about a big slice of the electorate, but they are out there. He just endorsed Donald Trump. What's your message to them about why they should vote for you?
I think that they love America, and I think they want a new generational leader. And so I am telling them that I am that new generational leader, and I'm the conservative that can get it done. And we're going to go and make sure that we get spending under control. We're going to get our kids reading again and have transparency in the classroom. We're going to secure our border once and for all. No more excuses. We're going to bring law and order back to this country. But guess what else we're going to do? We're the only one in a general election that beats Joe Biden. Even if you look at the poll yesterday that came out in New Hampshire, general election, Trump loses to Biden by 7 points here in New Hampshire. I beat Biden. Look at every swing state. I beat Biden. I beat him by up to 17 points. This is a fact. We don't want a President Kamala Harris. That should send a chill up everybody's spine. So instead, look at the fact that we could actually win. And I think that's what Ron DeSantis' supporters want. They don't want to lose. They don't want a President Kamala Harris. And they also want a new generational leader. And we give them all of that.
Two more questions while I have you. Another thing that was really interesting in the CNN UNH poll that we had out this morning was that when people who were voting on Tuesday were asked to rank the issues that matter most, immigration was at the top of the list. Democracy and the Constitution, it was very high. What is your message about why you think, to those people who are looking at that issue, why you don't think Donald Trump is the right candidate if they care about the democracy and the Constitution?
Well, you can look at his actions and decide for yourself. But what I will tell you is we are in the live free or die state. I want it to be a live free or die country. I want to make sure that we go back to all the values and principles that make our country so great. My parents raised me and said that even on our worst day, we're blessed to live in America. That's what I want to get back to. My husband's deployed right now because he still believes in this amazing experiment that is America. I want to get people to where the national self-loathing has stopped and we start being patriotic again. We start loving our country again. That's where I want to go. I don't think you get that with Donald Trump. You can hear him on any given day, on any given stage, and hear him badmouth Americans all over the place. That's not what I'm.
Where have you ever heard Trump badmouthing Americans? Okay.
I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is fight to get America strong, and I don't think you have to hate people to do it.
Before I let you go, I interviewed Tim Scott, your fellow South Carolinian senator from South Carolina, this morning on State of the Union, and asked him about his decision to endorse Donald Trump and not you. I asked him if he gave you a heads up, and he said eventually, actually, I texted her the day before I made my announcement.
That's not true. He didn't call. He didn't text. He didn't tell me that he was going to do this. I texted him and said, look, I want to sit down and talk, because we had only spoken once. Since then, I said, I'd love to sit down and talk about endorsement. And he said, I'm getting with my team to figure that out. And I never heard anything else again until his endorsement.
Did he, when he told me he texted the day before, did he text somebody on your team?
No, we didn't hear from him when he decided to run in this race. We didn't hear from him when he decided to get out of this race. Am I disappointed? Yes, but that's his decision to live with. We're moving on. There's two people in this race. That's what we wanted all along. We're going to keep on going.
Okay. Governor, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. So there, we just got finished looking at that. There you have it. I got a little bit of egg on my face right now. And the reason why is because I actually said that, you know, she had egg on her face when she said we're in a two-person race and then actually came in third place. I remember when she said that. And, you know, I was clowning her a little bit and, you know, now I'm sitting here with egg on my face, but still none of that is important. The fact remains, I'm not going to say it's a fact, but I'm calling it now, right? I'm standing on it, right? Nikki Haley is not going to win New Hampshire. It's not going to happen. If she doesn't win New Hampshire, is she going to continue on to South Carolina? Seems so, but she's down in the polls there as well. So I don't really know what she's doing. I guess she thinks or she believes that she has a clear path forward, but I don't believe that's the case. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for this segment. If you enjoyed this content and you want to see more content like it, make sure that you actually like this video. Make sure that you actually comment on this video. Make sure that, more importantly, you actually share this video. It's the only way that I know that we can force YouTube's algorithm to push this content out to other like-minded individuals. So until I see you guys on the next video, I am gone.